Tonight, we rank our top 10 animated movies of all time with one caveat: no Pixar allowed. This list will be final, untouchable, sealed until the end, when we will sacrifice one of these films and replace it with our Pixar GOAT. This is the Yada Yada Podcast, episode 33. The Larry Bird episode. We made it all the way to Larry.
Larry Legend. If you don't remember, he's not a top 10 NBA player all time.
Unless you're smart like me.
I'll tell you who's going to be top 10 by the time he's done. You ready for this? Cooper Flagg.
Ooh.
Yeah.
MFFL.
I haven't quite moved on from Luka, but I think Cooper Flagg's going to be A-okay in this league one day. He already is.
Yeah, I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Speaking of top 10 players all time, Luka might get there just as well.
Yeah, he's already there. Him and Dirk are rounding out the top 10 already. Oh, man. Well, it is. I am so glad to be back with you listeners, all 45 to 60 of you guys that tune in every once in a while. I'm so glad to be back. If you haven't heard, which I'm sure you have, I am now a father. And that's weird. I feel old. I feel like an adult. Everybody always asks, well, how do you feel? You know, it's like, well, I feel like an adult now. I will say, I don't want to talk a whole lot about it just because I don't want to be here for forever. But moms are way more impressive than dads. I can just go ahead and shout out all the moms out there.
Agreed.
That was impressive, what I witnessed. and still witnessing. It's very impressive what God created and how it's all good. I don't have any other word for it other than good. It's very, very cool. I have gone back to work, and that has been terrible. Not because I don't like my work, but just because I'd rather stay home and stare at my baby. But I was talking to one of my coworkers actually today, and I was like, he just had a baby, like, I don't know, 10 months ago or so, last summer. And he told me, like, I know you love your child, like, obviously more than any other child, but I literally just catch myself staring at him. I was like, I get that 100%. I'll hold my baby and like this, and my neck will like hurt the next morning. Like, golly, I guess I was just staring at her for so long. But yeah, it's been pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm glad to be back with my yada yada listeners though. So
well, it is good to have you back. It was one episode hiatus, wasn't too long. We have taken a little bit longer to upload in the meantime.
Yeah.
So
life is busy. Yada yada takes a back seat every once in a while, rightfully so. It's a hobby for us. So for all of you that are out there that rely on us for your entertainment purposes, go ahead and send us an email, and we'll send you our Venmo. And if you really need us for entertainment purposes, you can start paying us, and we'll start bumping it up the list of priorities. But as of right now, this is a hobby, and so we're not going to do that.
Well, before we get started with all this animated movie extravaganza that we got going on today, I got some show and tell.
All right.
It's not as cool as a new baby, but it's pretty cool. So for all you people watching, this movie here that I'm holding up, it's called Shelby Oaks, and it is a new horror film. I'm not a big horror film guy, but I have listened to this YouTuber for a while who does movie reviews, probably almost, 7 to 10 years at this point I've been listening to him. And a couple years ago, he decides that he's going to make himself a movie, an actual movie. And he put out a crowdfunding thing, and I thought, you know what? When am I ever going to get another chance to have my name in movie credits as a special backer? And so I donated a little bit of chunk of change. Just back before I had dogs and children, but it was enough at the time. And lo and behold, 4 years later, the movie comes in, and I am in the credits, baby.
Look
So
at
here we
that.
go.
That is
I
awesome.
did it for the fame and glory. So if you haven't
Yeah.
picked up your copy of Shelby Oaks to see me in the
Yeah.
credits, go grab it. Haven't
I'll
seen the
just
movie yet.
yeah. No, just fast forward.
Right,
Fast
right,
forward to
right.
the credits.
But I thought, you know what? That was a fun little opportunity. So
It
it
is
finally
pretty
paid
cool.
off. 4 years in the
Yeah.
making, it was
What
good
a
stuff.
great investment.
Yeah, yeah. And then also weekly update of my Lonesome Dove
Wow, you're
reading.
getting there.
I am in the 500s now, baby. So
Wow.
we're almost there. Along those lines, on a more serious note, rest in peace, Mr. Robert Duvall, because he's the star, one of the stars of the Lonesome Dove TV show, which I haven't watched yet, but I'm excited to watch once I finish the book. But he's also he's an all-time great. He's an Oscar winner. He's nominated for tons of other Oscars and awards, and he was in classics like The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, childhood favorites like Secondhand Lions, and comedies with Will Ferrell like Kicking and Screaming. So he's been in a lot of movies that I love that I've loved over the years, and he will be missed. But he was 95 years old, so it sounds like he lived a pretty good life.
Yeah, that happened today. We're recording February 16th, so that happened today. I saw that. I was
Yeah.
actually going to mention that, and I forgot to put it in my notes. So I'm glad I should have known you would remember, but I'm glad you did
Yeah.
remember.
It was kind of strange. Finally decided to read Lonesome Dove and watch the TV show, and then all of a sudden he passes away.
He gone.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, so rest in peace, Robert Duvall. But
Yeah.
now I think we just get into the main topic, unless you have
Let's do
something
it.
else. All right.
Nope.
We are ranking our top 10 non-Pixar, because we talked about that a couple episodes ago.
Yep.
Non-Pixar animated movies of all time. And then what we're going to do is once we rank our top 10 animated non-Pixar movies of all time, we're going to sacrifice what for dramatic effect, because we like arbitrary rules that make these lists a lot harder than they should be. But we're going to sacrifice one of our top 10 and replace it with our favorite Pixar movie.
Yeah.
And exactly where it goes. So no bumping down the list. If our favorite Pixar movie is number 5 on this list, then we have to take out number 5 and plug in our favorite Pixar movie. So that's how it's going to work.
Yeah. Which would not make any sense if you were just ranking your favorite animated movies.
No.
But that's how we're doing it. And so you can get over it, or you can not listen.
It's way more dramatic that way, which is,
Do you want to review what your favorite Pixar movie is?
Yes, I do.
I didn't even remember, and I'm the co-host.
Yeah, my Pixar GOAT, it was a tough choice, because it's strange to me to have a top 10 animated list without Toy Story in it, but that's the way it shook out. And it was between Toy Story and Toy Story 2 and Finding Nemo. And Finding Nemo beat it out.
Yeah.
Somehow Finding Nemo ended up as my favorite Pixar movie. I think if you would have said, like, hey, if I could have the Toy Story trilogy or just Finding Nemo, obviously I'd pick Toy Story trilogy.
Yeah.
But if I'm going like pound for pound, each like individual movie, I'm going to go with Finding Nemo. So
yeah, I've got, mine was between the Toy Stories and Cars, and I went with Cars. In case you forgot. I'm sure you didn't, but I went with Cars.
I figured.
So I'm anxious. I already know where I'm going to put it, and people are not going to like it, and I don't really care. So, Cars has gotten some hate from my own mother. My own mother called me out, and she said, "You know what? I gotta agree with books. I'm taking Finding Nemo and the Toy Stories over Cars."
Nice.
And I said, "Well, Mom, you're not right." And no, not really. But she did call me out. But we are gonna sacrifice one of our top 10 animated movies. Like Book said, for dramatic effect and dramatic effect only.
I'm locked in. I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, what do you got at 10?
My number 10 was a movie that kind of creeped me out as a kid when I first saw it, but there was something about it that I kept going back to because it was really cool and kind of mysterious and hilarious as well. And this is kind of it might be underrated. I don't know. It did win Best Picture at the Oscars, so maybe not too underrated. But this movie came out in 2011. It is Rango.
Rango. Yeah, I enjoyed Rango. A little Western.
Johnny Depp, Rango.
Yeah.
I think it's a great Western. It's got a little, it's even got a little Clint Eastwood, like Ghost of the West type cameo at the end. Um, the animation is really what sticks in my mind, though, the style of it. Like, because I feel like a lot of animated movies that have animals in them are very like, when you think about Sing and, like, um, even, like, Ratatouille or, what's the other one with the fox and the
Zootopia?
Zootopia, it's very clean, you know what I mean? Very
Yeah.
polished, you know, not you can't, like, but with Rango, you really feel like the dirt and the heat, and it's very, like the shadows, and it's a really cool movie, great Western, and so I got Johnny Depp's performance is great. Bill Nye as as Rattlesnake Jake
The
was
science guy?
not the science guy,
Oh.
Bill Nye as in the guy that did, Davy Jones.
Oh, okay, okay.
That guy, which
I
is
did
funny
not know
because
his name was Bill Nye.
I think the director of this movie is the same guy that directed, Pirates
Ooh, no wonder it's so
trilogy.
good.
Yeah, so and Johnny Depp's back with him, and Bill
Yeah.
Nye's back with him, so great movie,
Yeah.
Rango, my number 10.
Yeah,
Love
I like Ringo. I saw that on the lists of the Google searches that I did,
mm,
and I'm actually surprised that I've seen it because it does look kinda I don't even know if they're reptiles or amphibians or not, but it does look very, like, not greasy, but dirty, like you said, you can feel the dirt, and it's a
very
little
dirty,
I
yeah.
don't know, it's not the cute little animals that you see in Secret Life of Pets and Zootopia and Sing and all those,
No, and
it's
there's a
kind of
lot of
the critters.
yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that goes over kids' heads when you watch
Yeah,
this. Like,
yeah.
there's some jokes that like, this is almost as much for adults as it is for, like, I don't know, 12, 13-year-olds is where I would
Mhm.
put this movie, like, the targeted age demographic,
Yeah.
so yeah, I got Rango.
Rango at number 10. Alright, at
Mhm.
my number 10, I'm going feminine, um, but it is a great movie that I enjoy, and I am not afraid to admit it. I think it's hilarious, for one. Um, I'm a sucker for the opposite of what you just said. I like the funny, cute animals
'Kay.
because I'm a sucker for animals, and you're probably gonna figure that out in many of my top 10. Um, but I've got Tangled at number 10, the Rapunzel, cartoon. I think, um, it is a little creepy. The mom that leaves her in the tower is a little creepy when she sings her mother's "Mother Knows Best" song. That's a little weird, but, I enjoy the horse in Tangled. I think he's hilarious with his facial expressions and
He is funny.
the prince that rides him. The horse kinda is kind of the boss of him, and the prince just kinda takes it. Um, and then I think the scene of them in the pub where they sing, and that crazy drunk dude is singing, that's pretty funny as well. So, I've got Tangled at number 10. It's a little feminine. It's the Rapunzel story, but I don't care because I think it's funny and I enjoy it.
I
So and I have a daughter, so it's okay to be feminine nowadays.
heck yeah, tea parties.
There you go.
Um,
Um,
no,
have you seen Tangled?
Yeah, Tangle's
Alright.
great. It's a
Yeah,
classic
yeah,
for me. It's
good.
good stuff. Flynn Rider is
Flynn Rider, yeah,
one of the best,
yeah,
animated Disney princes, guess you could
yeah.
say.
You could call him a prince, yeah,
Yeah, eventually he becomes. Spoiler
right.
alert.
Yeah. So, Tangled at number 10. At my number 9, I'm going a little old school,
'Kay.
okay? And, I didn't do my due diligence, but I'm sure there's plenty of versions out there of this, story. And it is also about I guess you could call him a young prince, um, but he is Mr. Peter Pan at number
Ooh,
9. Um, obviously, specifically the animated version. Um, the and like I said, there's tons of different versions out there probably. Um, but this one has the alligator and the music with the alligator and obviously Captain Hook and anyway, I don't remember what year the one that I'm talking about is. Like I said, I didn't do my due diligence, but I grew up, I grew up watching Peter Pan and I liked the Peter Pan storyline with old Tinkerbell and Captain Hook and good guy, bad guy kind of thing. And so I've got Peter Pan coming in at number 9.
great pick. That probably should have been an honorable mention for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great pick. 1953.
Yeah, that's not the one.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure, but I'm gonna assume it's not.
Uh,
Peter Pan movies, animated.
that's the way it's looking. That's the only one I've seen.
No, it's not that one. It's, I have seen that one, though. Sure enough, it is that one.
Look at you.
I absolutely love that movie.
50s movie.
Yeah.
Geezer.
Look at me, I'm just crusty. Yep,
All right.
that's the one, and I like the old man that's kinda Captain Hook's little not sidekick, but assistant kinda guy.
Mr.
Um,
Schmitty.
he kinda looks like a dwarf, but
Yeah.
probably because that's just the the illustrator or whatever of all the movies back then, but
Right.
yeah, Peter Pan, 1953, wow, I did not expect that.
It's back
Look
when
at
Walt
me.
Disney was still producing them
Yeah, his head wasn't
himself.
frozen under his amusement park.
All right, cool. Peter Pan. Didn't
Yeah.
expect that one from you, but that's a good pick.
Well, uncultured.
Yeah. I'm also throwing it back a little bit to before we were born. Not quite the 50s, but before we were born. My number, what are we on? My number 9 is Aladdin. I love Aladdin.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, really what makes it for me is Robin Williams. I mean, his performance as Genie is one of the best all-time
Yep.
animated movie performances, there's ever been, so that's what makes it, but I love the music. The music in Aladdin is great. A lot of the classic Disney ones always have great songs, but Aladdin's a pretty memorable. And then just Aladdin is a super endearing character, rags to riches type of guy. Abu. The side characters in this movie are cool. The magic carpet, the little monkey dude. Jafar's a great villain. And of course Genie, but yeah, and then Jasmine, it's it's a great character.
I don't know if I've sat down and watched Aladdin.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
which kinda takes away my credibility after having a 1953 movie in my top 10, but
Right.
I mean, I've seen, like, clips because I mean, I obviously know, the Genie in the Bottle and Robin Williams and all that stuff, but I don't think I've actually sat down and watched Aladdin.
It is a great movie. Great
Yeah,
animated movie. All-time Disney classic in my opinion.
there you
So,
go.
head at number 9.
There you go. What's number 8?
My number 8, we're moving away from Disney,
Hmm,
and we're going into Sony territory.
Sony. Okay.
Sony territory with one of the greatest comic book movies that there has ever been, I think, and that is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Mhm.
My number 8. I this the animation in this movie is always breathtaking. There's really
Yep.
nothing like it. Like there's not another animated movie that I've seen that compares to this kind of animation style. It's basically, I mean, it's like it looks like a comic book just ripped into real, like, just brought to life. You know what I mean? And it almost makes me wish that I could rewatch like some comic book movies that I love in this style. Like it's perfect for comic book movies because it looks like a comic book. But yeah, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales is a great character. All of the spider people in this movie are great. Gwen in particular. I almost put Across the Spider-Verse on here. Um, but I think the first one, I think Into the Spider-Verse is still my favorite. Nick Cage as Spider Noir is
Yep.
hilarious and
Mhm.
fun. There's so much to like about this movie, not just the revolutionary animation style, but the characters and the story, and you even get a great Peter Parker, multiple great Peter Parkers in this movie. And it's good stuff. Just talking about it makes me want to put it higher, but it's a great movie, and it's one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse at number 8.
Yeah, I was expecting that to be higher actually on your list, or I guess lower on your list, higher ranked.
Right.
Um, I probably should have put in my honorable mentions. I'm a big fan of that one as well. I just didn't think about I don't think about Spider-Man when I think about animated movies, you
Mm,
know?
right.
So
Not one that we grew up with, because
yeah, right.
2018,
Yeah,
I was already graduated from high school, so,
yeah. I
um
the first time I saw it was at college on the library lawn, actually. They had a movie night and me and Lacey went and saw it. Um,
nice.
so number 8, all right, Spider-Man.
Mhm.
Um, all right, my number 8, it's an oldie. Um, once again, didn't do my due diligence, but there's only one of them, and so there's not really any dispute into which version is my favorite. But at number 8, I've got The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah,
That
that's a
that
good one, isn't
that's
it?
that has gotta be my number 1 honorable mention.
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot to put that as honorable mention.
Yeah,
That's
that's
a
a
good one.
great one. I love The Emperor's New Groove. I think it's hilarious. The characters in it are funny, um, but it also has a little bit of seriousness, but it's also funny, and it's also kind of feel good. It's got good quotes to it. It's like goofy, like this random llama, like what? But it all kind of ties together, and so I love The Emperor's New Groove. I think it's funny. It's very rewatchable. I've
Mhm.
rewatched it as an adult, and so I love The Emperor's New Groove. Not quite as old as Peter Pan, but it is a little older. I don't like I said, I didn't do my due diligence, but it probably came out in the late '90s, early 2000s, I would think. But yeah, I've got The Emperor's New Groove at number 8.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Also, the chemistry between the 2 main the emperor and I can't remember his name right now, but the peasant guy
Yeah,
is
Cusco.
Yeah, Cusco
Yeah,
and, it's like Shaka or something like that. I can't
Kronk.
Kronk is
That's
the
the,
goofball, he's the
that's the
henchman.
yeah.
He's probably the funniest character in the movie, though.
It's every time I watch Seinfeld and Elaine's boyfriend is on there,
Yeah.
I can only hear Kronk.
It's good
Uh,
stuff.
but yeah, it came out in 2000, so a couple
2000.
of years
Gotcha.
after us. Um, but yeah, I'm a big Emperor's New Groove, guy. So, number 7, okay, this is one that I can't wait to watch with my daughter one day because it is one of my favorite old nostalgic movies that I specifically remember watching on VCR. Okay. And
Kinda
goes back,
guess. Kinda
yeah,
guess.
let me give you a hint. It goes
No,
back to my, okay,
I'm gonna guess.
okay.
It might be too old here. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
It is not, but
Dang it.
I'm glad that's what you think of me.
Alright, what is it?
I did love me, little side note, okay. I went through a little phase when I was a kid where I loved me some princess movies,
Right. I
and
remember that phase a lot. How about you?
Oh, that was hilarious. I figured that's why you guessed Snow White. Oh, that is so funny. Oh, man. Yeah, my brothers and parents can attest to that for sure. I did love me some Snow White, and I love me some Cinderella. I love me all those movies, so, but no, it is not Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Okay.
It came out in 1961, okay, and
Okay.
it goes back to my affinity for animals, specifically dogs,
Oh,
101 Dalmatians.
yeah.
I
Okay.
love that little cartoon. Um, maybe that's where my love for dogs came from, I don't know. But we had puppies growing up. Like, we had a golden retriever that had puppies a couple times, and I loved those puppies. I loved that movie. Obviously, I watched that movie a little bit before those puppies, but like I said, I think that's kinda where my affinity for dogs maybe started. And I can't wait to watch it again with my daughter, one day and show her an old classic, 1963. So that's
Yeah.
definitely way back when. But Cruella de Vil, and her cool car. I liked her car back then too. So 101 Dalmatians, um, that is one of my favorites. So I have that at number 7. So I've got 2 from before 1965.
Dang.
So get you some of that.
Yeah. Did not see that coming.
Yeah,
101 Dalmatians. Did not that came out of left field.
yeah,
But yeah, cool pick. Cool pick. Cruella de Vil, definitely all-time classic Disney villain for sure.
yeah.
She's up there with the villains. So
Mhm.
yeah, solid pick. All right. What are we on?
This is number 7.
Number 7. This is a good one. We
Uh-oh.
are rewinding it not as far as 1963 or whatever you just did, but
Mhm.
back to the early 2000s. Great time to be alive, I think. It was a fun time to be a kid, at least. I'll
Oh,
say
yeah.
that. I'll say that much. Early 2000s, great time to be a kid. A lot of
Mhm.
awesome movies. And this one right here is one that I've seen maybe the most on this list.
Ooh.
It's just a classic. It moves by so fast. It's an odyssey, you might say. And it's the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Ooh, great
Love it.
pick.
Love it.
Great pick. That is a
SpongeBob is
great
probably
pick.
probably my favorite like animated TV show of all time. So I had to put the movie on here because it's
Yep.
just like the best episode of SpongeBob ever. It is awesome.
Yeah.
I love basically everything about it. It like I said, it literally is like the Odyssey story told in SpongeBob form, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. Down to the Cyclops with at the end with the
Yep.
guy in the scuba mask and all
Yep.
that. But and then you got David Hasselhoff cameo. I
Yeah.
mean, with
Of course.
his engaging pecs,
Mhm. Very
fired,
impressive.
yeah,
Yep.
bag of wins. It's all
Yep.
great. Bald,
Yep.
and
So
you
many
get
quotes.
right, and you get a great Goofy Goober concert at the end. So
Mhm.
really, it's got everything you want in a movie,
Yeah.
and that's why I have the SpongeBob SquarePants movie at number 7. It's
Yeah.
great. Love it.
That is a great movie. I got number 6, here right in front of me, and once again, it goes back to my affinity for animals, I think. But this one has great, voice actors in it,
Mhm.
alright? Um, it's a very distinct voice that you just know, like, "Oh, I know who that is." You know, sometimes you hear him in the movie and you're like, "Man, who is that? Like, I know that voice, but I don't know who this is." This movie is not that way. It is 100%, um, you know this person, and that is Madagascar.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and
Love
so you've got
Madagascar.
Chris Rock as the zebra. That's
Yep.
the voice I'm kinda referring to there. But yeah, I love Madagascar once again, probably because I love animals. Um, it's a little Odyssey-esque. It's
Mhm.
got they escape the zoo and they have to go find Alex and all that stuff. Or I'm sorry, they have to go find Marty, and, Alex doesn't wanna leave the zoo and, all that stuff. But, yeah, I love Madagascar. I've said this a few times. I said this with Cars, and I think it was a reason Cars was my number 1, but I had a Madagascar video game that I played. I think it
Really?
was I think it might have been a PlayStation 2 that I had that on,
Okay.
or maybe a Nintendo 64 or something, but you ran around the zoo and you had to dodge the zookeepers and the dart, they blow the darts to Alex and you gotta avoid those, and the lady with her purse, the old lady that hits him in the train station with their purse,
Yeah.
you had to avoid all that, and, I don't remember the end goal, but, yeah, it was a fun game, at least when I was a kid, and so I
That's
think
cool.
that probably goes into my love for the movie. But yeah, I've got Madagascar at number 6, the first one. There's 2 or 3,
Yeah.
but
I
the
think it's
first one.
I think it's kinda hilarious to rewatch that after the Oscars where Will Smith
Yeah,
slaps Chris
slapped
Rock
Chris Rock, yeah.
because, uh, the Gloria is Will Smith's wife.
Really? I did not
Yeah.
know that. That is funny then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that is an
very
interesting,
ironic.
yeah, funny. But yeah, who's Ross, what's his name? David Schwimmer
Yep.
as Melman is
Yeah,
just pitch
he's
perfect.
it's perfect. It's
I
a
love it.
perfect voice. Like,
Yes.
you wouldn't think Ross, like, you wouldn't think that guy would be I would think, like, Napoleon Dynamite. He's kinda
Right.
the
Yeah,
guy Napoleon Dynamite, the actor.
right.
Um, but yeah, he's a great great voice for Melvin. It's so good. And Ben Stiller as Alex the Lion, like,
Yeah.
just some good voices in there. There's some good
Very
distinct voices in
You
there.
got King Julian.
King Julian's great. Yeah. The penguins, like, their little side story is pretty funny in that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
And I mean, obviously because they ended up having
TV
their
show.
own TV show and movie, and same with King Julian. He had his
That's
own little
true.
spinoff as well. So,
Spawned a lot of spinoffs for sure.
yeah, so Madagascar coming in at number 6.
That is great. I always quote that part where they first land on the island and Melman's trying to get out of the trees or something like that, and he says,
Yeah.
"Nature, it's all over me. Get it off." I feel like I say that once a week if I'm going outside.
Yeah.
But it is that's a great movie.
Yeah.
All right, on to my number 6.
Yep.
For my number 6, I have I have a movie that it's got a lot of critical acclaim, whatever, that doesn't really matter a whole lot to me, but it's one that I've watched the least amounts of times of everything on this list, but it's because I've only discovered it recently, like within the past
Okay.
2 years or so, and it is such a crazy, dreamlike experience watching this movie. But what really sells it for me is the animation. And it's true for a lot of the movies that the studio produces. Again, not Disney, not Sony. So we're going to a different studio here, not Nickelodeon. Um, this movie is by Studio Ghibli, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, the Japanese studio, and it is called Spirited Away.
Okay. I'm glad you said that because when I was looking up animated movies,
Yeah,
this was like the top for a lot of them. I'd
really.
never even heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Spirited Away, I've been wanting to get into more to watching. It's just I feel like everyone's in anime right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and, like, when you hear sorry not to cut you off, but, like, there's
No.
lots of, like I feel like every year there's some type of Japanese movie that is, like, number 1 on
Yeah,
Netflix or number 1
yeah.
Oscar winner or whatever, so, yeah.
And I feel like the anime, like the explosion happened right after I got out of like the age where I could have like watched it in high school with my friends and stuff like that, you know? Like all these big TV shows that are huge right now, they weren't when I was a kid, and so I don't have any nostalgia for them, and it
Yeah.
was kind of a hard entryway for me. So I kept looking for Studio Ghibli movies where I could find like one that was like, "Okay, I get it now." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I understand why people watch so much of this stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and Spirited Away is by far and away the best one that I've seen so far. I haven't seen all of them, but it is such a great movie. It's dreamlike, like I said, it's profound in a lot of ways, but it's also really rewatchable, which is cool. Like I'm excited for you know my daughter to experience different cultures through this through this style of animation, and like I said, there's nothing like this style of animation. The attention to detail and just the uniqueness of it all. I mean, it looks like every frame is a painting, you know? So I get why people love Studio Ghibli movies, and it's either Ghibli or Ghibli. I don't know how to pronounce it. GH.
We're
Um,
going Ghibli because that's more fun.
that is more fun. But man, Studio Ghibli movies are really cool. All of them, a lot of them are on HBO Max right now. So if you have HBO Max, you can check them out. But this one is such a cool, and especially now that I have a daughter, the main character is kind of on this she's swept away into this dreamlike spirit world, and she's trying to make it back to her parents, and it's little Nemo-ish. So that's cool, and like I said, just the every scene, every frame of this movie is I could hang it on my wall, like, you know what I mean? Like, it looks great. So
Hmm.
Spirited Away is one that I have at number 6 right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So
Spirited Away, like I said, I saw that in all when I was Googling, like, animated movies because I didn't wanna miss any,
Mhm.
um, yeah, Spirited Away was one of the ones that I hadn't heard of, but I could tell it was anime, that
Yeah.
kinda artwork to
Mhm.
it, so it didn't surprise me that I'd never seen it, but, yeah, I might have to give it a little peek. Um, alright, what do you have at number 5?
At number
Top
5,
5. We're getting into the top 5 here.
top
You're gonna have to
5.
sacrifice one of these, man.
This is rough. This is really rough. Um, yeah, this was a tough one, and I mean, all of these movies are 10 out of 10s, but these are elevated. These are 11 out of 10s in my top 5 here. Um,
Wow.
I went with Shrek at number 5.
At 5? Oh, okay.
You'll see why.
Alright.
But, Shrek at number 5. Shrek is I mean,
5.
it's yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
Shrek is an all-time classic, and obviously Eddie Murphy as Donkey, obviously Mike Myers as Shrek are two of the greatest. And it's up there for me with Robin Williams as Genie. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just the greatest animated performances, voices matching the characters ever. You know what's hilarious? This is kind of a caveat, but I work with a lot of people that speak Spanish as their primary language,
Mhm.
and they grew up watching Shrek in Spanish. And so,
Mm.
but they claim that so if you want to learn Spanish and you're an English speaker, go watch Shrek in Spanish because it's apparently the most hilarious thing ever. And
I
so
I can imagine it's probably pretty funny.
and so I can't wait. I can't wait to watch Shrek in Spanish.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is one of the greats. It's so funny. Every scene is hilarious. Everything that comes out of Donkey's mouth is hilarious. So many quotable lines, so many characters that are iconic. Iconic villain with Lord Farquaad
Yep.
is just the best. Some great action and in the animation, yeah, it's a little. I mean, it looks dated for what it is, but
Yeah.
it holds up well enough for it to be very charming. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yep.
And I love the fairy tale, or I guess anti fairy tale. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
all the folk and fairy tale, like it's almost like like the MCU where they all
Yeah,
come
it's like a
together.
crossover. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Avengers of fairy tales.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
it's so cool, such a cool concept, and then to make the main character an ogre is it's like an inverse of Beauty and the Beast. It's all really cool.
Yeah.
And it's one of the greatest movies. Forget animated movies. One of the greatest movies of all time. So I have Shrek at number 5.
Yeah, I like it a lot. Also like you said, the crossover with all the fairy tale, movies
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
stories, I guess, but, also the princesses, like, they have Cinderella, and they have Fiona, obviously, and they have
Yeah.
Snow White, and they have, all those things, so it kinda crosses it's just so, I guess, creative
Yeah.
in a way, like and then you have a dragon, and the talking donkey likes the dragon. Like, it's just it's good. I love Shrek.
It's so
Um,
good.
alright, getting into my top 5. Um, this one is not because of animals, but it is a very recent release, I guess. It did come out pretty recently. It's the first of many. I think there's 4 now. Um, it's got Steve Carell as the voice, and it is Despicable Me.
Despicable Me.
I love me
Okay.
some Despicable Me. I think it's hilarious. Um, and it's also there's a little bit of feel good to it. Like he
Yeah.
kind of
Pretty
adopts these
heartfelt. Yeah.
he adopts these girls and he kind of changes his ways between goes from villain to dad and so it's a little bit of heartfelt in there as well. But man, Steve Carell, his voice in this movie is hilarious. Everything he says, I feel like is just so funny just because of the way he says it and his accent that he has. Um, it's a funny villain vector, and there's some geometry in there, like direction and magnitude. I'm a physics teacher, kind of, and
There
so
you go.
that's pretty funny to me.
Nice.
But yeah, Despicable Me coming in at number 5, and then you've got it's kind of like Madagascar. Like Madagascar had some spin-offs because of the popularity of other characters. Despicable Me has crazy spinoffs with Minions. Like, they've got their own universe nowadays.
Yeah.
And so
How
D
many of them have there been? Do you know? How many Despicable Me's?
Despicable Me's, I think there's 4 now, if I'm not
Wow.
mistaken.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know there's 3 at least. I think I've only seen 1 and 2.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's up to 4 now. But man, I remember seeing Despicable Me the first time. It was funny then, and I've rewatched it a bunch of times. I love the Minions, and I love Gru's accent. I think it's funny, and I kind of liked the I guess like the Batcave type thing,
Right, like his
it's it's
supervillain
under his
lair.
house, and
Yeah.
yeah, the lair. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. The lair, and then I liked Vector's house. Like Vector's house was kind of cool. It had all the booby traps, and it shot lasers and bombs at Gru when they tried to sneak in. And then the Shark Tank floor, like that's pretty cool. And so anyway, I really like Despicable Me. I've got that as it's my number 5. It's rounding out my
Ooh,
top 5. So
Despicable Me rounding
yeah,
out the top 5.
yeah,
Alright, good stuff.
yep.
Miranda Cosgrove, it plays the oldest daughter, do you
She
know that?
does. That
That's
is
pretty crazy.
correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Um, all right, my number 4 is the sequel to a series of movies that you've already talked about, and that is Shrek 2. I've got Shrek 2 at number 4. It's
Shrek
that good.
2 at number 4.
Yeah, you heard me right. I like the I like parts of Shrek 2 more than I like parts of the first Shrek as well. Um, I think I don't like the drama part of Shrek 2
Okay.
as much. Like with the in-law Shrek's in-laws, and they're not prince and princess, and they're ogres and all that stuff with his dad or her dad and all that. I don't really care for that in Shrek 2, but I think um Fairy Godmother is a really good character, and I think Prince Charming is a really good character. I don't know how else to say it other than I like parts of Shrek 2 more than I like the first Shrek, but I think it's just as funny as the first Shrek. It's still funny because you have Donkey and you have Shrek, and they're hilarious. So I've got Shrek 2 at my number 4. Like I said, I think parts of it are funnier and better than the first Shrek, but the entire movie as a whole, I don't quite have it as high as the first Shrek.
Well, that's a pretty good pick. But on to my number 4. This movie at my number 4 is maybe the best looking. It's between this and Spirited Away for sure, but that I've seen. But I think I'd put this at number 1 as the best looking animated movie of all time. And it is by a director that is really not known for animation. I think this was his first foray into animation. But that director is Wes Anderson, and
Oh, Wes, yeah.
and that movie is Fantastic Mr. Fox. Have you seen Fantastic Mr. Fox?
I don't think I have. I was not expecting that.
Really?
Let me look up some pics while you talk about it. Fantastic Mr.
First of all, this is the
Fox.
most orange movie there's ever been, and orange is my favorite color, so I'll throw that out there.
The most orange movie?
Very orange.
Like just
It's orange.
okay. I don't know what you mean by that.
Like literally, the frames are like there's a
Uh,
bunch of
they just
orange
like
colors.
tint and okay.
Yeah,
All right.
sunsets and he's a fox. It's orange.
Is this like
and
claymation?
it's I think it's stop motion is what they call it.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop motion.
All right.
But it's so like I said about Spirited Away, where every detail is so like like it's like somebody that like has to have OCD made this movie.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those like everything is perfectly square, like
Yeah.
all of his movies, but each frame literally is like a painting. Like it is perfectly framed. Everything is exactly where it needs to be. And that annoys me in some of Wes Anderson movies, but in this one it pays off like crazy.
Yeah.
and it pays off in spades. It's hilarious. George Clooney is fantastic, Mr. Fox himself,
Okay. All right.
and it's a great performance. And if you like this movie and you haven't seen it, you should look up the behind the scenes of George Clooney recording these lines because he's
Yeah.
like out in nature and he's like making sounds, you know what
Oh,
I mean,
really?
and running around, and
Huh.
it's cool stuff.
Interesting.
But yeah, the cast is super stacked. Owen Wilson, there you go.
Okay. I like me
He's
some Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson, and there's tons of great actors. It's a very stacked cast. Came out in 2009. It was nominated for the best animated feature. It did not win, and I don't know what beat it. Maybe a Pixar movie. I don't know. 2009.
Yeah.
But man, it's just perfectly controlled. It's a warm movie. It's insanely witty. The dialogue is really witty
Mm-hmm.
and hilarious, and it's very precise and handcrafted feeling, and it's great. I love Fantastic Mr. Fox, and the more I watch it, every time I watch it, the more I enjoy it. So
Interesting. Yeah. I like I said, I've never seen it. I doesn't surprise me because it's the stop motion stuff, like you said.
mhm.
Um, but it made me. No, it didn't. I was gonna lie and say it made me want to watch it, but it didn't. But I will say, having Owen Wilson and George Clooney in it, that made me like, oh, this is like a legit. Looks like a legit movie. So,
Right.
um,
It
orange,
is
very
very
orange.
very orange. So if you're a fan
If
of
you like
orange things,
orange,
yeah, it's
go
got
watch.
also Meryl Streep and Bill Murray. So
Dang,
big
I've never
stacked
even heard of
cast.
this movie. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Um. All right. Well, we're getting into the top three here, and it's going to be hard to replace any of these. Um.
Yeah.
Or sorry, not replace. Well, yeah, I guess replace. Sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
Sacrifice sounds more dramatic, not
Right.
replace.
Right.
All right. My number three is probably, which I guess this is probably for all of them. But my number three is probably a lot of people's number one. And like I said, we're getting into the top three, so they're probably pretty interchangeable for a lot of people. This is probably the greatest storyline in any animated movie, in my opinion. Um,
Wow.
the rise and fall, the growth of the character, and then the side stories are good as well. The villain is really good, and it's kind of like your what movie did you say earlier that you talk? Oh, Spider-Man. Like the more I talk about it, I'm like, man, maybe it should be higher. But I've got The Lion King at number three. And like I said, it's probably a lot of people's number one or number two. And it's really like 2A. One's on a I'll get to number one in a second. But one is on a different level of superiority.
Okay.
So Lion King is really like 2A. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing to say about it because everybody's seen it at this point. Everybody knows Akuna Matata. Everybody knows who Mufasa is. Talk about voice actors. Like the voice actors in this movie are great. Scar is great. The hyenas are hilarious. Like, and they're great villains. Like the hyenas is what a great animal choice to choose as a villain. And then like the funny bird, the wise, like the monkey is perfect. Like I just feel like every animal they chose for this movie to represent the character that animal represents was perfect. And so I've got the Lion King coming in at my number three. And like I said, the more I talk about it, the more I want to move it up. But I'm gonna keep it at number three for now.
Wow. The Lion King. That's a
Yeah.
great pick. My number three is it. This is this was tough. This was a really tough one.
Yeah.
But I have Tarzan at number three.
Tarzan.
Love
That's an
Tarzan.
honorable mention. I should have honorable mentioned that. Yep.
You got
Completely
Tarzan,
forgot about that.
honorable mention. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, this this movie, first of all, Phil Collins did not have to go as hard as he did on this on this movie, but
I
he
was about to say
did.
the soundtrack alone puts Tarzan where it is. Yeah,
But he
it's pretty
knocked
good.
it out of the park. There's
Yeah.
banger after banger in this movie,
Yeah. He did
and
not
it's
have to go as hard as he did.
but it is ridiculous work from Phil Collins, and it
Yeah.
does elevate the movie
Yeah.
to top 3 all-time status. But just the animation style, Tarzan, I mean, it's a classic story. It's been told before this animated movie, and
Right.
everybody kinda knows it, but it's the way that Disney pulls it all together. You know, it's not just the performances, but I mean, the soundtrack does do a lot of heavy lifting for this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest, and that's not a takeaway. That's not a negative thing.
No,
Like
it's
it
part of the
just
movie.
it's part of the movie, and it elevates it like crazy. And just Tarzan's such a cool character. You know, when you're
Yeah.
thinking about just the rule of cool, Tarzan's that guy. He's that guy that
Mhm.
you wanted to be when you were a kid. You know, climbing trees and swinging on vines and crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
Plus, there's great action scenes. Every scene with him, you know, surfing the trees and
Yeah.
swinging around and freaking battling, you know, leopards and cheetahs or whatever they are.
Mhm. Yep.
It's great. Great action, great visual storytelling, and it's also hilarious, like a lot of these movies we've been talking about. But
Yeah.
Turk is a hilarious character,
Mhm.
and the supporting cast is all great. Jane is a cool Disney princess. She's very unconventional. If you want to say Disney princess, I guess
Yeah.
Tarzan's the king of the jungle, so she's the queen.
Queen, yeah.
But yeah, so Jane's a really cool, unconventional Disney heroine, and yeah, man, the great villain in Clayton,
Yeah.
voiced by the great Brian Blessed, who's like a all-time like British actor known for his voice, and he definitely delivers something memorable in this one, and just tons of quotable lines, and yeah, it's hilarious and awesome. So I have Tarzan, and also this is a shout out to my mom, but my the what do you call it? The groom and mom dance. How do you
Mhm.
say that?
Mother,
The
son, I
mother
guess?
the mother and son dance at a wedding.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Uh-huh.
this is my mom. This is the song that my mom and I danced to was the one that Kala sings to Tarzan. So
Yeah.
great soundtrack, doing a lot of heavy lifting. Thank you, Phil Collins. He did win best original song. Oh, it was "You'll Be in My Heart."
Yeah.
That also won best original song. So
Yeah.
sweet.
That makes sense
Um,
because that's fantastic. Yeah.
yes, it was perfect. So
Yeah.
love Tarzan. It's all time for me. So I got it at number 3.
I like it. I regret and I apologize for not having Tarzan, but it is one of those classic stories, and it by far has the best soundtrack of any animated movie, maybe any movie ever.
It's
We
so
might
good.
could do that at some point, but it is there's some. You're right, Phil Collins. He went hard and he succeeded. But my number 2, okay, you've already talked about it, and so I'm just gonna go right into it. Not a whole lot more to say about it, but it is Shrek, and man, I so it. In case you didn't know, it came on Netflix um, a couple of months ago, maybe at this point. They all did 1, 2, and 3. Um, and we rewatched them for I think maybe for the first time as an adult, and I was dying laughing at this movie. Donkey is hilarious. Like Shrek is obviously hilarious, but some of the things that they say are like, how did they get away with that?
Yeah.
Like that went right over my head as a kid, and now as an adult, it's so funny. And then like there's so many maybe callbacks or no, probably more references than anything to other fairy tales. Like you said, the crossover with all the fairy tales is funny. Um, and it's just the three blind mice, and then you got the big bad wolf, the Little Red Riding Hood wolf, and then you've got Peter Pan makes an appearance. Robin Hood makes an appearance. It's and then you have the WWE wrestling scene where
Yes.
they're fighting for, to go find Princess Fiona, and um, there's there's some pretty funny quotes,
There's
and
some good adult Farquaad moments too
yes,
that
when they
go over
walk
your
up,
head.
yeah, when they walk up to the castle and his castle's ginormous, and yeah, it's pretty good. And then, like you said, I think once again this goes into my love for animals, and especially animated animals. But Donkey is one of my favorite characters in any animated movie ever. He's up there with all of them, and because he's hilarious, and Eddie Murphy is obviously hilarious, but the character Donkey is funny, and it's so rewatchable. It's pretty quotable as well. It's got a pretty good soundtrack to it as well.
It does.
There's some pretty good songs in there as well. And so yeah, I've got the first Shrek as my number 2.
All right. We both have one on the list that
Yeah,
we're overlapping. So Shrek, great. It's a great movie, like I
it
said.
is.
Love it. It's all time. All right. Since I've already talked about Shrek, I'm gonna head on over to my number 2 that you've already talked about.
Yep,
It is The Lion King.
it's a good one.
It is The Lion King. It's Hamlet with lions, so, you know.
I'll take your word for that.
No, I mean, everything about this movie, the songs are all in, the GOAT Disney songs. The characters, Mufasa and Scar and Simba, are all just classic characters. Rafiki, I mean, everything, just the mythic kind of quality about it, the generational quality about it, the relationship with father and sons, and I'm always a sucker for that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And and man, it hits all the feels, all of the kind of just the generational trauma and weight of that Simba's feeling. That's all
Yeah.
delivered flawlessly. I think it's just it's Disney's peak. It's their emotional peak. It peaks everything that they've done. I think it's
Yeah.
it's my favorite Disney movie, so I had to put it at number 2. So
Number
there's
2.
one I think's better.
Well, you wanna do your number 1, or you want me to?
I'll go for it.
Because I think we've both mentioned each other's number
Oh,
1.
we did, I think.
Yeah.
Um, my number 1 you have already talked about,
Yep.
and it is Shrek 2.
Yeah, it's great.
I love Shrek 2. I mean, like you said, you love some parts about it more than Shrek 1. I think I love just about every part about it more
Mhm.
than I think it's one of those rare sequels that improves on everything that the original got right. Like,
Mm,
I love the originals. It's number 5, but I just feel like Shrek 2, it takes what the original did, and it does it even better,
yeah.
and it's just as hilarious. You get a great new character with Puss in Boots,
Mhm.
uh, played by Antonio Banderas.
Yep.
It's flawlessly.
Yep.
It's also hilarious. I think the fairy godmother is one of the best villains in any
Yeah.
animated movie. I think
Mhm.
she's also like endearing a little bit. Like she's funny even if she's evil. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of great villains are, but her particularly is very memorable, especially with Prince Charming. There is just the fact that they made Prince Charming the villain of the movie,
Yeah.
like the evil henchman is just is great, and I
Yeah.
I love Shrek's ar I love and I do like the drama of this movie. I know you said that was, like, on your lower end of the things you
Yeah.
like about this movie, but I'm also a sucker for that, and
Right.
I love when he turns into a human and when, like, at the low point of the movie, and they all go to the bar and start
Mhm.
drinking, milk or whatever,
Yeah.
or, what's his face? Puss in Boots is drinking milk like he's getting
Yeah.
drunk, and
Yeah.
it's so funny. You got Captain Hook playing a Nick Cave song over there.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Just, it's all great. I love everything about this movie. Like I said, I think it improves on everything. I think the laughs are just as big, if not bigger, I think, as the first Shrek. I think the emotion's deeper in this one, and it's got one of the greatest final acts in any movie that I've ever seen with the charge on the castle with the gingerbread man
Mhm.
and as soon as I Need a Hero kicks in, I just wanna stand up and clap because it's one of my
I
favorite
need a
moments.
hero.
It's one of my favorite moments in any movie. That finale is so good. And then, of course, the whole, like, "I wanna be married to the ogre that I married," not like, "You don't you can be yourself with me," that always gets me too, so,
Mhm.
and then you get the little, I don't know if you've ever watched it all the way through, but at the end, like, after the credits or maybe the
Yeah.
mid-credits or something, there's the American Idol with animated Simon Cowell, and
Yep.
you get it
Yep.
or Powell or whatever his name is, but
Yeah.
they all have, like, a
Yeah.
singing contest, and
Yeah.
that part's always hilarious to me as
Yeah.
well, so
Yeah, that's like I think it's mid-credits, like, the credits
mid-credits.
roll on one side and yeah.
Yeah, it is so awesome, and I absolutely love Shrek 2. So,
Yeah. That's
number
a g
1, baby.
um Alright, my number 1, I feel like it's a no-brainer at this point. I mean, I don't understand how it's not your number 1. As many times as we have quoted this movie to each other,
Very
as many
true.
times as we've watched this movie together, as many, like, there's it's the greatest, funniest, most quotable, most rewatchable animated movie of all time. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie is my number 1 favorite animated movie ever, and, like, some people out there are probably thinking, like, "No, he's just doing it to be funny, like, he's just picking this to be funny." I am not. It is my
Nope.
favorite of all time. Anytime it's on, I'm clicking on it, in any scene that I watch, I immediately know what's going on. I immediately start laughing, and there's so many quotes to it. It's so
Waiter!
goofy. Yeah, it's just when they get drunk on the ice cream, and then he comes strolling into work hungover on ice cream, and then they "Fill her up, please." They just and then they make fun of the goofy goober guy in the, "Don't think we don't know how to weed 'em out." I think I've referenced that in one of our podcasts before. I think
I
I've
think,
said
yeah.
that quote. And
The old
so
paddy wagon. That's good
yeah,
stuff.
the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is just so funny. Um, there's a little bit of drama to it, like, the storyline behind it is dramatic,
And
just
I
because you gotta have
wrote
a
the
s
Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
It's like a dramatic monologue
Yeah,
talking about
and then the
David
very
Hasselhoff.
end like, the very end is they start to dry out, and they start to die, and then they shed a tear, and it hits the
Right.
outlet and the plug and all that, and then a lot like your ending of Shrek 2, the ending of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie is second to none. When he has that guitar solo and he starts singing "I'm a Goofy Goober," and he starts just whipping that laser and hitting those helmets off of Plankton's army
While Patrick's wearing them high heels.
while Patrick yeah, exactly. Oh, man, that,
It's
like
perfect, yeah.
it's great. It's my favorite animated it's one of my I can't believe I didn't think of it when we were doing our desert island because I could watch this movie over and over and over and over again. Um, once and it's I'll just go ahead and segue into it. It's above Cars, and so I'm not gonna sacrifice Cars for it because Cars is my Pixar.
Mhm.
It's above Cars, and like I said, I wish I'd have thought of it when we did our desert island because it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's a goofy one, but I love SpongeBob, like, so much, and so I've got SpongeBob SquarePants movie at number 1 all time on a
Man.
on a different it's not even S tier, it's above S tier. It is just it's so good. I love it so much.
Oh, man. That that is a great pick. That's
Yeah,
a great pick. Like I said, I had it on my list. It
yeah.
was it was what I put at
I think
8?
yours was
No,
8.
7.
No, se yeah,
7.
yeah, yeah,
So I had it at number 7, but
yeah,
it is an all-timer. It's an
yeah.
all-timer.
Um,
I didn't see this in the theater, though. I don't know why, but
I don't think I did either.
I don't know if it even came. It might have been just like a TV movie that
It
they
probably
released,
was just a Nickelodeon release, like,
like a special or
on
something, but
Nick, yeah.
it
Back
was
when, like, you had to set your DVR and wait
yeah,
on it.
yeah.
Um, alright, going through top 10. My number 10, through 1. Tangled is my number 10. Peter Pan is my number 9. 1953, Peter Pan.
Wow.
51. Yeah, 1951. Number 8, The Emperor's New Groove. Number 7, 101 Dalmatians, 1963 version. Number 6 was Madagascar. Number 5 was Despicable Me. Number 4 was Shrek 2. Number 3 was The Lion King. Number 2 was Shrek. And number 1, in a league of its own, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
That's good stuff. My list at number 10 had Rango. At number 9 had Aladdin. Number 8, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Number 7, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Number 6, Spirited Away. Number 5, Shrek. Number 4, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Number 3, Tarzan. Number 2, The Lion King. And number 1, Shrek 2.
There you go. All right. The moment we've all been waiting for.
Now
What are you sacrificing?
the hard decision.
Do you know what you're going to sacrifice? Because I already know.
You know?
I'll go first.
All right,
I'll
you go.
first.
You go.
I thought about it while we were kind of recording.
Okay.
I love all of these. And there's a like I could cheat right here,
Right.
and I could just put it at number 10 and just keep
Be
my
happy.
rest of them. But I'm not going to, because I love Cars that much, and
Right.
I'm sticking with my Cars fandom. And but it's so not accurate though. This is so dumb. We're such idiots. This isn't the all right. Here's what I'm gonna do. The highest I can put it. Okay, here's my thinking.
Okay.
The highest that I can put it and it be ranked high enough is top 5.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna sacrifice one of my top 5s because, like I said, I don't want to cheat and put it at 10 because I like Cars too much.
Right.
That being said, I like 1 through 4 so much that I don't want to not have them on my list.
Right.
So there's kind of a fine line. And so I'm gonna sacrifice my number 5.
Okay.
Which was Despicable Me. And I'm gonna put Cars at number 5.
Cars at number 5.
I'm gonna eliminate Despicable Me, no matter how much I do love it. But I can't get rid of SpongeBob. I can't get rid of both Shreks, and I can't get rid of Lion King.
Right.
And so I've got to put Cars. I'm putting Cars at number 5, and I'm sacrificing Despicable Me. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. So
This was your idea, by the way.
Right. I know.
Hey,
I know.
you want to do it this way, or I got a more dramatic way to do it?
Right. This is just so we can make ourselves mad at the end of this episode.
Right.
All
It's all
right.
for the comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Rage bait.
Finding Nemo is my Pixar GOAT. It's better than Rango, Aladdin, Spider-Verse. I got it better than SpongeBob and Spirited Away. And here's where it gets tricky.
Yeah.
Because I got Shrek at number 5. And I love Shrek so much.
Yeah.
And I love Fantastic Mr. Fox. And I love Tarzan and The Lion King and Shrek 2.
I gotta watch this Mr. Fox movie, I guess. The orange movie.
The orange movie, yeah. Okay, but I think I have a way of doing it as well, and it's actually very similar to yours because here's the cheating way that I can do it, and then I'll tell you the other way that is true to where it should be.
Okay.
But the cheating way is I already have Shrek 2 at number 1, and I like it more than Shrek. So I could replace my number 5 Shrek and still be happy that I have Shrek on this list, you know?
Yeah.
But that feels like I'm cheating a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna tell you where I think it should be. I think
Do it.
it's better than everything except for The Lion King and Shrek 2, and unfortunately, that sacrifices Tarzan, and
Goodbye, Tarzan.
that breaks my heart, and I do think Tarzan soundtrack is by far superior.
Oh, yes.
But I think overall Finding Nemo is a better movie, and it moves me more than Tarzan does, and so, sadly, I'm gonna sacrifice Tarzan and put Finding Nemo at number 3.
There you
So,
go.
there you go. My favorite Pixar movie made it to number 3, and Tarzan is on the cutting room floor. I'm sorry, Phil Collins.
Yeah, get you some of that, Phil. Um, that was difficult.
It
So
was
your
hard.
your Pixar was number 3, mine's number 5, which, like I said, it's not Cars is not my 5th all-time favorite animated movie. That's why this makes no sense what we're doing.
There
But
you go.
it was a fun little
There
exercise
you
that we
go.
just did.
Right. Now I want
Um,
that now that is true for me though, that what's it called? Finding
mm,
Nemo is
it's
my
your number
number
3?
3. It's my number 3 all
All-time
time.
favorite animated, okay.
So
Alright.
that's where I have it.
Well, if we're doing it that way, mine's probably number 3 as well. I just didn't wanna get rid of Lion King.
Right.
So,
That's hard.
yeah.
That's the point.
So, yeah. So I did kinda cheat, but also didn't. But yeah, I've probably got SpongeBob and Shrek above Cars
There you go.
at this point in my yada yada career.
Right.
It wasn't in episode 2 or whatever episode we did
That's
Desert
true.
Island
Look at
Movies.
all this growth that's
I
happening.
know. I've
Smooth.
rewatched some movies. I've grown a little bit. I've had a child. Like, that's a
God.
big life step right there. Um, so yeah, I'll do what you did, and I'll sacrifice Lion King if you want me to do that,
There you
and
go. You
I'll
got
put
enough
Cars at
animal
number
movies on
3.
there anyway to make up for
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. Episode 33 of Yada Yada. It's glad to be back. Thank you for having me back. I'm sorry I missed out on some nerdness last episode
You
with
did miss out
T-Pain,
on the
but
Star Wars extravaganza,
I
but you know
have,
what?
yeah, uh, yeah, no comment. But yeah, thanks for having me back. I'm glad to be back, yada yada. You thought you could keep me down, but you couldn't. Shout out to both of our wives, by the way, both of our child's moms,
Mhm.
because like we said, moms are better than dads. There's no doubt about it.
Shout out.
Because they are watching our children as we do these podcasts. And so shout out to them for allowing us to have our hobby
Right.
and get to catch up a little bit and rank some movies. So make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe. Keep spreading the yada yada word. And we'll see you next time.